Man, is it getting hot in the outhouse or the White House. Man, let me tell you something. I'm going to give a little bit of advice to President Donald Trump and his administration. You all had better tread very, very carefully when accusing the U.S. intelligence agencies. And all I'm going to say on that is two examples. Remember Kennedy and remember Reagan. With that said, let's go into the story. And senior editor, Yahoo News. Trump slams un-American intelligence leaks, just like Russia. In other words, Trump is accusing American intelligence agencies of actually being just like the Kremlin, being just like Russia. Let's read the story so we can get the real skinny on this. President Trump accused U.S. intelligence agencies of illegally leaking information to the New York Times and Washington Post on Wednesday, following reports that members of his presidential campaign were in contact with Russia officials during the 2016 presidential election. Amid a fury of early morning tweets, Trump likened those leaking the information to the Kremlin. Information is being illegally given to the, look at this, failing any times at Washington Post by the intelligence community, NSA, and FBI. Trump tweeted, just like Russia. Okay, and he tweets, information is being, I already read that. And then he turns around and he tweets again and says, the real scandal here is that classified information is illegally given out by intelligence like candy. Very un-American. All right. On Tuesday night, the Times reported that intercepted phone calls show members of Trump's presidential campaign and other Trump's associates had repeated contacts with senior Russian intelligence officials in the year before the election, according to current and former U.S. officials. Oh, man. The only official name in the Times report was Paul Manafort, his former campaign manager with ties to pro-Kremlin interests in the Ukraine. Manafort told the paper that the story was absurd and that he had never knowingly spoken to Russian intelligence officers. A Washington Post report quoted Eli Cohen, President George W. Bush's former advisor, saying, the cloud hanging over the administration when it comes to Russia is darkening. Trump dismissed the reports as a partisan effort to undermine his election victory. And then Trump tweets, the Russian connection nonsense is merely an attempt to cover up the many mistakes made by Hillary Clinton's losing campaign. Man. In October, U.S. intelligence agencies concluded that Moscow was behind hacks that resulted in leaked emails from the Democratic National Committee and members of Clinton's campaign. In December, President Obama announced sanctions against Russia over the Kremlin's meddling in the presidential election. And a report of those agencies made public in January concluded that the Russian government had interfered in an effort to tip the election in Trump's favor. And they got a nice little picture right here. And you know what? I noticed that there's something going on with this picture right here of President Trump. I see a picture of Andrew Jackson in the background of this particular picture right here. And for those of us if you don't know, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. That is a shot across the bow of the Federal Reserve. Something's going on anytime you have a picture of Andrew Jackson around there. All right. In response, Trump's lashed out at the intelligence community assessment, calling it a card being played by the Democrats to undercut him. Can you imagine if the election results were opposite and we tried to play the Russian/CIA card? Trump tweeted at the time, and would be called conspiracy theory. As the president-elect, Trump also likened intelligence community leaks to Nazi Germany. Woo-wee. Earlier this week, Michael Flynn, Trump's national security advisor, resigned following a report in the Washington Post that Flynn had discussed American sanctions imposed on Russia during the transition and had misled the administration about the conversations with Moscow. Lawmakers, including several Republicans, called for an immediate investigation. Apparently, watching cable news shows Wednesday morning, Trump blasted the fake news media for covering it all. The fake news media is going crazy. You see what Trump is tweeting again with their conspiracy theories and blind hatred. The president tweeted at MSNBC and at CNN are unwatchable. At Fox and Friends is great. Man. Trump then named, look at this, checked a pundit who appeared on Fox News and criticized the leakers more than what the leaks contained. And it goes on. I'm going to finish right here on this. Because he turned around. Trump says, thank you to Eli Lake of the Bloomberg View, and the NSA and FBI should not interfere in our politics and is very serious situation for the U.S. Trump's criticism of leaks is a departure from his stance on them during the presidential race. During the month, all right, let me get there, leaking up to November 8 presidential election, Trump talked about WikiLeaks and emails obtained through the Russian hacks of the DNC and Clinton campaign at least 164 times, according to the analysis by Think Progress. The Washington-based progressive think tank and news organization. Over a 3-day span in October, for an example, Trump professed his love for WikiLeaks at his rallies, marveling at his ability to broadcast the leaked material and directing his supporters to read it on the whistleblower website for themselves. One of the big advantages of me having a rather large microphone, Trump said at a rally in Osceola, Florida on October 12th, meaning that a lot of people are listening, is that I can talk about WikiLeaks and we are live. Simply amazing. Boom, boom, boom. I'll tell you, this WikiLeaks stuff is unbelievable. He said a few hours later at a rally nearby Lakeland, it tells you the inner heart. You gotta read it. Man, let me tell you something. I wonder, and this is my proposed question to all of us out there in the general public, the court of public opinion. A snake is a snake is a snake is a snake is a snake. And snakes are snakes are snakes are snakes. But when you should be draining the swamp, it looks like, in my humble opinion, that the swamp that you should have been draining is now coming back to bite you. It's being filled with crocodiles and lizards, poisonous snakes, all kind of venomous snakes and everything. And that's what most people don't understand in America. Man, politics is dirty. It's nasty. It's vicious and it's vile. It really is. And I guess when you're starting off hot like this, you know, they're working on humbling him. I promise you that. Because the powers that be have got to get him under their control. What said you? Because I'm telling you, we better keep a watch on all this and miss all this. Because, man, I tell you, these fake news medias and everything else, it is off of the proverbial chain what is going on now, man. Woo, it is.